picture this. It's a Friday evening in Chicago. Sarah, a 22-year-old college student, scrolls through Instagram on her phone. She sees her high school friend posting from a yacht in Miami, another friend showing off a new job at a fancy tech company, and a classmate sharing photos of a perfect, carefree life. Sarah sighs, looking at her tiny apartment, her part-time job schedule, and her mounting student loans. Why can't I be like them? She thinks. Why does everyone else have it all figured out? Sound familiar? In a world where we're constantly bombarded with everyone else's highlight reels, it's so easy to fall into the trap of comparison. We look at others' successes, their looks, their lives, and suddenly, our own journey feels less than. It's like we're running a race where the finish line keeps moving, and we're always a step behind. But here's the truth. Comparing yourself to others doesn't just steal your joy. It steals your focus, your confidence, and your chance to shine in your own way. Today, we're going to meet Alex, a young man who, like Sarah, was caught in the same cycle of comparison. Through his story, we'll uncover a powerful truth. Your life isn't meant to look like anyone else's. It's meant to be uniquely, beautifully yours. And by the end of this video, you'll have 3 simple steps to break free from comparison and start building a path that's true to you. So let's dive into Alex's story and discover how you can stop comparing and start thriving. Meet Alex. He's 25, living in a small apartment in Chicago, working as a junior marketing assistant. On the surface, Alex seems like he's got it together. Hardworking, friendly, always ready with a smile. But deep down, he's struggling. Every day, Alex feels like he's falling behind in a race he didn't even sign up for. It started small. He'd see a colleague, Jake, get a promotion and think, why not me? I worked just as hard. Then he'd notice his friend Mia posting about her new condo downtown, while Alex was still renting a cramped studio. Even on social media, he'd see strangers with thousands of followers, living lives that looked so perfect. If only I had their charisma, their success, their life, he'd tell himself. But here's what Alex didn't see. Jake was burning out from working 80-hour weeks. Mia was drowning in mortgage payments. And those influencers? Many were curating a facade, hiding their own struggles. Alex was comparing his whole story, his doubts, his fears, his behind the scenes, to everyone else's highlight reel. And it was eating him alive. He stopped pitching ideas at work because he felt they'd never be as good as Jake's. He lost interest in his hobbies because they didn't seem impressive enough. Slowly, Alex's confidence faded, and he started to believe he'd never measure up. This is where comparison traps us. It's not just about feeling less than, it's about losing sight of who we are. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. We look to others to gauge our worth, but when we only focus on those who seem better, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Alex's mistake? He thought everyone else's success meant he was failing. But the truth is, someone else's win doesn't take away your chance to shine. A small lesson here: comparison distorts reality. It's like looking through a funhouse mirror. What you see isn't the full picture. The next time you catch yourself comparing, pause and ask, am I seeing their whole story, or just the parts they choose to show? One evening, feeling at his lowest, Alex stumbled into a local personal development workshop. There, he met Maya, a mentor whose words would change everything. Alex walked into the workshop feeling like he was carrying the weight of the world. The room was filled with people, but he felt alone, still reeling from the endless comparisons that clouded his mind. That's when he noticed Maya, the mentor leading the session. She had a calm presence, the kind that made you feel like she could see right through your doubts. As she began to speak, Alex leaned in, hoping for answers. Maya started with a simple story. Imagine a pine tree in a forest, she said. It stands tall, weathering storms, but it doesn't bear fruit. Now picture an apple tree nearby, heavy with sweet fruit, but not as sturdy in the wind. What if the pine tree spent its life wishing it could grow apples? Or the apple tree envied the pine's strength? Would that make sense? Alex shook his head, almost smiling at the thought. Exactly, Maya continued. Each tree has its own purpose, its own beauty. And so do you. To drive the point home, Maya shared a real story about one of her past students, John. John dreamed of being a Hollywood actor, but spent years comparing himself to A-list stars. He felt like a failure, always one audition short of making it. But when John stopped chasing someone else's path and focused on his true talent, writing scripts, he found success. His first screenplay was picked up by a small studio, and it changed his life. John didn't need to be someone else, Maya said. He just needed to be the best version of himself. Maya's words hit Alex like a lightning bolt. He realized he'd been trying to live up to other people's definitions of success. Jake's promotions, Mia's fancy lifestyle, instead of discovering his own. Maya explained that each of us has a unique zone of genius, a set of strengths that make us special. Comparing ourselves to others pulls us away from that zone, forcing us to chase paths that don't fit. Your journey, she said, is like a fingerprint. No one else has it. Why try to copy someone else's? A small lesson here: your worth isn't measured by how you stack up against others. It's found in embracing what makes you you. The next time you feel the urge to compare, ask yourself, am I honoring my own path or chasing someone else's? As Alex walked home from the workshop, Maya's words echoed in his mind. Your journey is your own. But if that was true, why was it so hard to stop comparing himself to others? Why did he feel like he was always one step behind? To understand this, Alex started to see comparison for what it really is: an unfair game that sets us up to lose. When we compare ourselves to others, we're rarely playing on a level field. Think about it. You're comparing your entire life, your struggles, your doubts, your behind the scenes, to someone else's highlight reel. That colleague who got a promotion? They might have years more experience or sacrifices you don't see. That friend with the perfect Instagram feed? They're likely editing out the messy parts. Comparison ignores context, and that's what makes it so unfair. Take Alex's friend Mia, for example. She posted a photo of her shiny new car, and Alex felt a pang of envy, thinking, I'll never afford that. But a few weeks later, over coffee, Mia confessed she was overwhelmed with car payments and wished she'd waited. Alex realized he'd been comparing his reality to Mia's facade. It was a wake-up call. We often judge ourselves against a version of others that isn't even real. And it's not just personal, it's a widespread issue. A 2023 study from Harvard found that 65% of young adults feel increased anxiety from comparing themselves on social media. It's no wonder why. Platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn amplify comparison by showcasing only the best moments, leaving us feeling like we're not enough. But the biggest harm? Comparison steals our focus. Instead of working toward our goals, we waste energy chasing someone else's version of success. A small lesson here: comparison is like trying to run someone else's race. It's not just unfair, it pulls you off your own track. The next time you catch yourself comparing, remind yourself, their story isn't mine, and that's okay. For the first time in a long while, Alex felt a flicker of hope. Maya's words had shifted something inside him. He didn't need to be like Jake, Mia, or anyone else. He needed to be himself, fully and unapologetically. But knowing this was one thing, living it was another. So, Alex decided to take a leap and focus on what made him unique. He started small. Inspired by Maya's advice, Alex took out a notebook and jotted down his strengths. He wrote, I'm great at connecting with people. I'm creative at solving problems. I'm persistent, even when things get tough. It felt awkward at first, like he was bragging, but as he wrote, he realized these were gifts he'd been overlooking. With newfound clarity, Alex set a goal: to pitch a new marketing campaign at work, something that would let his creativity shine. But the journey wasn't smooth. Alex poured his heart into that first campaign, staying up late, refining every detail. He presented it to his team, full of hope, only to have it rejected. The feedback stung. It's not quite what we're looking for. For a moment, Alex's old doubts crept in. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought, he wondered. But then he remembered Maya's story about the pine and apple trees. Failure didn't mean he was less than. It meant he was growing. So Alex tried again. He took the feedback, leaned into his strengths, and pitched a second campaign. This time, it was a hit. His boss praised his innovative approach, and a few months later, Alex was offered a promotion. But more than the job title, what mattered most was how he felt: confident, fulfilled, and proud of his own path. He wasn't chasing anyone else's success anymore. He was building his own. This is the power of focusing on your strengths. When Alex stopped comparing himself to others, he unlocked his potential. And embracing failure, that was the key to his growth. Every setback taught him something new, bringing him closer to his goals. Failure isn't a sign you're not enough, it's proof you're trying. A small lesson here: your strengths are your superpower, and failure is just a stepping stone. Celebrate what you're good at, and don't be afraid to stumble. It's how you learn to soar. Alex's journey shows us that breaking free from comparison isn't just a mindset shift. It's about taking action. He didn't transform overnight. He used simple, intentional steps to rediscover his strengths and build a life he's proud of. And the good news? You can do the same. Let's walk through 3 practical steps to help you stop comparing and start thriving right now. Step 1. Discover your strengths. Take 10 minutes today to write down 3 things you're really good at. They don't have to be big. Maybe you're a great listener, a problem solver, or someone who brings energy to a room. Alex found his strengths by reflecting on what came naturally to him, like his knack for creative ideas. Not sure where to start? Ask a friend or family member what they admire about you. You'll be surprised at what you uncover. Step 2. Limit comparison triggers. Social media can be a comparison minefield. Try curating your feed. Unfollow accounts that make you feel less than, and follow ones that inspire you to grow. Alex took a week-long break from LinkedIn and noticed he felt lighter, more focused. You don't have to quit social media entirely. Just be intentional about what you let in. Even small changes like muting certain accounts can make a big difference. Step 3. Practice gratitude. Every day, write down 3 things you're proud of about yourself or your life. It could be a kind act you did, a goal you're working toward, or even just showing up on a tough day. For example, one of Alex's workshop classmates, Lisa, started this habit and realized she was proud of her event planning skills. That gratitude sparked her confidence to start a small business, which now thrives. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. These steps aren't complicated, but they're powerful. Take Lisa, for instance. She was stuck comparing her career to her friends until she followed these steps. By focusing on her strengths and practicing gratitude, she turned her passion for planning into a fulfilling business. You don't need to overhaul your life. Just start small, and the changes will grow. A small lesson here: big transformations start with small, consistent steps. You don't have to stop comparing all at once. Just take one action today to honor your unique journey. Alex's story reminds us of a simple, powerful truth. You don't have to be anyone else to be enough. His journey wasn't about becoming the next big success story or outshining his colleagues. It was about embracing his own strengths, learning from his failures, and building a life that felt true to him. And that's the secret to thriving: not chasing someone else's light, but shining in your own. Think back to Sarah, the college student we met at the start. She was drowning in comparison, feeling like her life didn't measure up. But inspired by stories like Alex's, she started small. She wrote down her strengths, her empathy, her determination, and began volunteering at a local nonprofit. That step led to a part-time role that aligned with her passion for helping others. Sarah's life didn't transform overnight, but by focusing on her own path, she found joy and purpose in her own time. This is what it means to shine in your own time. Like the sun lights up the day and the moon glows at night, you have your own moment, your own way of making a difference. Stop waiting for someone else's permission or comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 10. Your journey is yours alone, and it's beautiful because of it. A small lesson here: your light is unique, and the world needs it. Take one step today to honor your journey, and trust that you'll shine when the time is right. So here's your challenge. Start with the steps we shared. Discover your strengths, limit comparison triggers, practice gratitude. And if you're ready to keep growing, check out our next video on setting personal goals to take your journey even further. Share your first step in the comments below. We'd love to cheer you on.